Hello everybody, and a warm welcome to my channel, Tarot by Izabela. I am very happy to see you here, and I hope you're all doing fine, even if we live in very turbulent and strange times for the moment. Today's video will be an update video for the UK, United Kingdom. And to do this video I'm going to use my crystal ball, my tarot cards, oracle cards and some dice. And before we begin, I must thank you all, you wonderful viewers, for all of your support to this channel. Without your help, your comments, your wonderful mails, your coffees, all that you do for this channel, without your help, it will be quite difficult to continue doing more videos. So I'm very, very grateful. Well, what about today's video? Lately there have been a lot of manifestations and strange things happening in the UK. A little bit like dictatorship tactics hitting the country. People getting arrested for free speech, for commenting something on social media. And everything is done to push a certain narrative. And I'm going to look into UK today to see if I can find something in my crystal ball and the cards. And in front of me I have a map of the UK. That is in case I see something in the crystal ball, and I could easily pinpoint out where a certain event eventually could happen. But I need to concentrate on my crystal ball first for a few moments, and after that we're gonna start to see if we can get some info from the universe about what is going on in the UK. Okay, just give me a few seconds and soon we'll begin. For the UK. Okay, glasses on, and let's see if we can find something. There is a lot of things boiling in the UK. There are still a lot of manifestations about to happen again, and that will be in different big cities. And the people in the UK are starting to wake up to the craziness that is being pushed on them. And you cannot cover truth with lies for a long time until it will explode in the faces of those who are telling the lies. People are not blind and deaf. The people in the UK are strong people, and when they are pushed to a certain limit, they will certainly react. The limit is being reached very, very soon. Big truth about what happened in the late attack on country R, when NATO troops were involved. There are quite a few British citizens that have perished in this attack, and that will come up in the news quite soon. And this is a big provocation from NATO on country R. And this will also make a lot of noise around the UK people. What are our government doing? Are they totally nuts? Do they want us to go into war? A war we didn't ask for, since country R have never really been a big threat to us. The present so-called leader of UK, he will step down, and I see him stepping down with handcuff, like this. I cannot say exactly when the big changes are coming, but those who commit crimes, serious crimes, doesn't matter where they come from. If they are from UK or from another country, doesn't matter. Crime is a crime. And true justice is blind. And don't judge from where the person come from. So real justice will come in action for the UK. But I don't see it until 2025 that those big changes will come. And people will continue to protest. They will try to lock the country down, scare people to obedience. But as I said, when you push someone to a limit, when they feel they have nothing to lose anymore, they cannot stop that. Big corruption in the governments will be exposed quite soon. And an enormous big scandal in the royal family will also come on the news within a couple of weeks. A lot of people are worried about all those young men that came in to the UK, apparently with some strange excuses. I don't necessarily see them all of evil intentions. Some of them, yes, but the majority, no. At a certain point, I see big airports closed, and I see people in uniform guarding. And that is not against the people, it's to catch some very, very evil persons. The absurdities of lies that are being thrown at the people from the UK, they will go even more crazy. And people will see clearly that this is something really, really strange going on. And a lot of people will wake up quite brutally. There are a lot of people who fight for truth in the UK, and I see like cells here and there, and they will be activated, and truth will really, really ring loud, and people will join with each other in a big effort to stop this craziness. During a period of time, the chairs on political positions will be empty. I see nobody there. So it's like no one is leading the country. And that could be that military will take over for a period of time before fair elections and no corruption on the leader post will be installed. I see a big fire, and this fire will be in one in London, but also one in Scotland, and that will be in a center of media. Could be BBC or another big media channel in their building. It's like they will try to burn down evidence, but the evidence is already out, and the evidence exists on USB sticks. They cannot take it away, even if they try. I don't see country are attacking UK, but they will certainly attack those mercenaries from the UK or from other NATO countries on Ukrainian land, or as now even on Russian land. And no mercy will be shown. They will try to lock UK down because of the new virus, the monkey virus. Some of the people that are, you cannot help them anymore, will buy it. They still will cover themselves in all kind of protection gear and shots and so on. And they are so unawakeable that they will still buy the narrative. But I see majority of the UK people will not buy into it. And a lot of protests. Like the spirit of Robin Hood waking again in the UK. An underground fight against the authorities, the oppressing authorities. Next month of September, looks like big revelations are coming that will affect the whole world and especially the UK. The King's throne, I see it empty. Something will happen. Totally empty, and I don't see anyone sitting in the King's place. One person on a very high position in a media channel will be arrested. And the symbolical lock on journalists that they are not allowed to talk about this or that, it will be open quite soon. So information will be pouring out, information that could be very, very true. Yeah. Very, very true. People will begin to think for themselves and ask a lot of questions. I don't see long lines for taking a treatment about for this monkey virus. Yeah. A train derailment, yeah, and that could be on the border to Scotland, England, Scotland, somewhere there. Unfortunately. They are large wagons. And a certain, you can call it line, in the underground metro in London will suddenly be closed to a very, very strange explanation why they closed that particular part of the metro. And people will not believe it because the explanation is too strange. And it will be closed for almost a week. So people would try to take other trains or buses to get to where they have to get. And a lot of movement, could be military, could be totally closed. Nobody is allowed to go down there. And majority of the UK youth do not want to be sent into a war they didn't ask for. And there will be a lot of refusal to go into war. So the authorities will have a lot of problem to find willing people who wants to get killed for the government's so-called policies or inventions. Very, very heavy storm is approaching on the North Island. And I see people staying inside, boats really, going up and down. Yeah, could be somewhere September, beginning of October, extremely big storm. As I said, people not blind and deaf. They see who commits the crimes. And big changes are coming, but not really yet. Doesn't matter, as I said, where you come from. If you have committed a crime, you will have to pay for that crime. And I see big airports with a lot of people, big suitcases, wanting to return to their home countries. So we are going into immigration, not immigration, people returning to their home countries because they feel they will have a better life there. But this is something I see. House prices will drop a lot. But still not yet. To affordable prices for people. Let's see if we can find something more. Somewhere in the center of England, a monolith gonna pop up. But also a very, very strange and complicated crop circle. In a way, no one has seen it before, and it cannot scientifically be made by a person, by a man. There is no scientific explanation for that crop cycle. Some very strange documents regarding the Beatles will pop up. Something they have been trying to hide, and that will also shock a lot of people. The most important thing is don't be fearful. Because when we fear, we are scared, we can make very, very bad decisions. And what you are scared of will come on knocking at your door. You will attract it. Somewhere around the coast of Wales, some very strange looking creatures, could be sea creatures, all kind of creature, will be washed up on land. Yeah. And people will ask a lot of questions. What is this? In the sea between Ireland and Wales, England there, somewhere. And I see some kind of small earthquake or trembling that will be noticed on land, on shore. And after that, those kind of strange creatures will be washed up. Over London and Edinburgh, there will be very strange UFO sightings. They will find some big mass grave in England. And in this mass grave there are a lot of skeletons of small, very small people, young people. And this mass grave is not in an urban area like normal people live. No, this mass grave will be on some kind of big estate, some very famous names. I don't know if I want to say this, but I see some strange happenings with a giraffe. Yeah, with a giraffe. That will also draw a lot of people's attention. Maybe giraffe pox. Who knows? No, but something strange with that giraffe. A whistleblower from the military who is pilot on those attack planes, who will come forward and really come out with some heavy information on what has been going on. There will be some turbulent times ahead, but that is not for long. After all, we live at the moment in World War III. A bit different than World War II, but still it's World War III. And chaos can be expected when a war is going on. Big happenings in the United States, USA, will definitely affect things in the UK. And the media will be forced to talk about different things in a different way until today. As I said, they cannot arrest all of you. There's no room for that. They try to scare people, the ruling class, but they will not be able. Too many are awake. And too many people are good people that will fight for what is right and good in this world. Well, now I'm gonna take some cards to see if there is some more information that can be found around the UK. Some military NATO people on a very high position, I see them disappearing. Yeah. They will not be there anymore. Take some Oracle cards. And finally some dice. The cards, they look like this. Let's see what we have here. In the tarot cards, we have 5 of coins, the High Priestess, the Empress, 7 of wands, and 8 of cups. On the Oracle cards, we have a scythe? I don't know how to pronounce it. The knife, you know, where you harvest wheat. Yeah. Then we have falseness, sunshine after rain, survival false promises, personal alchemy, and on the dice we have a truck that's driving very fast, a smiling face, glancing, and some bottles, like laboratory bottles with samples. Right now, the people in the UK are experiencing a lot of falseness. They are in the middle of a storm, and it's raining, and it's windy, and things are moving fast from one bad news to another. The thing is that a lot of dark secrets, a lot of things that have been hidden from the people are coming up to the surface. And we have this, you will reap what you sow. And this is what it will happen. All those false people, all those snakes will be taken care of. And the people from the UK can expect sunshine after the rainy period. UK will blossom again. And those who have given false promises, those who have started wars and problems, they will be taken care of. They will disappear. They will go into nowhere. Then they will not be found anymore. There will be a lot of protest against new treatments for new viruses that are popping up all the time. They want to keep the people under control. They want to have obedient little slaves that are dependent on the slave keeper. And the cocktail of chemicals that are being offered to the people will not have such a success as the last treatment we have seen 3 years ago. It will not have that success. People will protest a lot. So they will have to stop this fear-mongering, pushing new treatments for new illnesses that are popping up all the time. The card in the center, the Empress and the smiling face, promises that it's good, that there are good times waiting for the people of the UK. Times where the nature will be cherished, the children will be taken care of, and people will feel abundance in their life, happiness, real happiness again. Yeah, but there are some problems still left, but those initiating those problems, those that want war, will be taken care of and they will disappear. And people in the UK, as in many countries in the West, are struggling with poor economy. It's barely one can make the ends meet in a month. Yeah, all due to false promises, all due to a lot of corruption and a lot of quite horrible things that have been going on in secret. But the snakes will be taken care of. Well, that was my update for the UK. And to all of you wonderful, strong, hardworking people of the UK, don't give in, don't give up. Violence doesn't solve anything, but you must make your voices heard. And you will, because I see manifestation people are saying what they think, because we all are sovereign souls. We have the right of free speech, and also that justice will be done for those who commit crimes. It doesn't matter where they come from. New times are waiting. The sun will shine again over the UK. But there will be a couple of more months when things will be up and down until a lot of things have been cleaned out. Well, that was my reading. And if you liked what you have seen and heard, please don't forget to press like button, share button and subscription button. And I want to thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we're gonna see each other soon again. Bye bye.